Okay, so welcome back. So this will be chapter 17, part 1. So the part wherein we need to select on which path to choose. And for this, we will be selecting Frederica's route. See this character start? Travis's former crew attempts to live honest lives, but things do not go as smoothly as he hoped.
Travis, I heard you were involved in a fight earlier in town. Is that true?
Well, you see...
You simply cannot use violence against innocent townspeople. You told us you had a change of heart and washed your hands of banditry, did you not?
You got it all wrong, Miss Gila. There's a real good reason it came to blows.
Is there now?
We've been working honest jobs since getting pardoned by Lord Serenoa, you see. But then, a bunch of those awful moneylenders got wind of it.
And started telling everyone we was bandits just to spite us.
Then these fellas got booted from their jobs because of that. I know how hard they were working to turn over a new leaf, so I went over there and... Please, you gotta believe me.
Okay, former bandit leader, the former head of a band of notorious thieves. After losing a battle to Saranoa, he agreed to join House Wolfart. If the Lord would spare the lives of his daughter and crew. Oh.
Our days of thieving are in the past. We're honest folk now.
Once a thief, always a thief. Men's hearts don't change so easily. Besides, weren't you their leader? From what I hear, your daughter was a dirty thief as well.
That was all my doing. Poor girl had no choice in the matter.
Do you take me for a fool? You two robbed people together. She's got a scoundrel's blood in her, and always will. Same goes for all of you filthy thieves.
I'd choose my next words carefully if I were you. Say whatever you will about me. But another word against my daughter or my mates, and they might be your last.
Threaten me all you like. It won't change a thing. You were born scoundrels. Admit it. You've already helped yourself to some of my wares, haven't you?
You bastard!
Oh.
I had no idea.
But you're right. I'm just a big fool making an even bigger mess of things. Being honest's a whole lot harder than thieving, I'll tell you that.
But boss, you did what you could.
Always thinking of us. You're the best, boss.
No, I owe you an apology. You were trying so hard, and I'm just sitting around here griping. This is all my fault. And I'm gonna set it right. Just give me some time.
Travis, thank you for telling me what happened. I will speak to Lord Serenoa and Lady Federica on the matter. In exchange, you must promise never to resort to violence again. Understood?
I swear it. Thanks, Miss Gila.
Okay, so their interaction is with Gila and Travis. Oh, another one. The people look upon the former bandits with contempt. Travis seeks out the employer of his former crewmates. Employer of his former crewmates. Oh.
I can't thank you two enough.
You needn't thank me. We're just helping each other out, no?
Indeed. I was in need of a few extra hands, so the help was more than welcome.
Still, I owe you two. I promise I won't forget this.
Was that Hasabara and Ian's? It seems you've been busy these days.
I had some favors to ask of them. Ever since my crew lost their jobs, I've been trying to help them find new ones. Then one day it hit me. I could have them work for those guys. They trust my crew and could keep a close eye on them.
I see. An admirable plan, if I do say so myself.
I thought the ones good with their hands could work at the smithy, and the talkers who know their liquor at Hasabara's tavern. Those two agreed without a second thought. Can't thank them enough.
It couldn't have happened without you, Travis. You know your crew's merits better than anyone else. And thanks to all your hard work lately, it seems both the tavern and smithy are back in business.
For a while, I wasn't sure what would happen to us, but it looks like we might be making an honest living after all. That's half a weight off my mind.
Would the other half happen to be your daughter?
Trish was born into the bandit life because of me. All she knows is thieving, so it ain't easy for her to just start living an honest life all of a sudden. I wonder how she's doing now. I just hope she ain't sad.
I don't think there's anything for you to worry about. She is your daughter, after all.
Yeah, boss.
What are you doing here? I don't need you to cheer me up over my own daughter.
Boss, I heard something about that merchant what upset you the other day. They said he was sulking around town with lumps the size of melons on his head.
It wasn't me, I swear.
Then that must mean...
It's gotta be Trish.
There's no way she'd let a bastard like him get away clean.
Like I said, there's nothing for you to worry about. Probably.
Oh, Trish.
Probably. Okay, I think that's all for the side stories. Okay, once again, House Wolford stands before three diverging paths. The time has come to lay their convictions bare before the skills and make their greatest decision yet. Star approaching is approaching a turning point. It's recommended that you save your current progress. Proceed to save screen. Yes. Okay, let's go.
You are certain Hyzante's army marches for the Grand Roselles mines?
There is no doubt.
They've heard word of the crystals.
It was only a matter of time. We knew this.
Esfrost's army gathers at Twinsgate as well.
War's breaking out over this thing, and we've got to be ready.
How will Glenbrook respond, King Roland?
There's no need to prepare for war. I have decided that we will surrender the salt crystals to the holy state of Hyzante.
What?
Furthermore, I hereby declare that the kingdom of Glenbrook and its people shall submit to the goddess and her teachings. There is no way to bring happiness to all Norzelia with the salt crystals, which is why I have chosen a path that will allow the greatest number of people to live in equality and harmony.
How could you? Do you not see that Hyzante's dominion over Norzelia's salt is why we are in conflict already? Is the suffering of the Roselles not proof enough that the goddess's vaunted equality is a lie?
She speaks the truth, my king. Handing over the salt crystals is tantamount to giving Hyzante's goddess free reign of Norzelia. Will you so readily surrender the realm to the Hierophant?
I acknowledge the abdication of my kingdom and kingship alike. A small price to pay in my eyes, in exchange for the security and prosperity of the many.
And the sacrifice of the Roselles, is that a small price to you?
It is.
How could you say such a thing to my face?
I, for one, oppose. I would prefer to ally with Esfrost and strike back at Hyzante. The salt deposits within the mines give us the leverage we need to convince Gustadolf to join us.
Ally with Esfrost? You dare suggest we ally with the man who murdered my father?
I see no reason why we should not. You proposed abdicating the throne for the sake of the kingdom and its people. So you should have no trouble putting aside your own feelings and judging this matter dispassionately.
I cannot believe my own ears. I will not have you lecture me on feelings when it is not your father he murdered!
None of you can see beyond your own grievances. It's no wonder my people have suffered for generations. We're told to believe in the goddess, while our own lives are thrown away to make a few more grains of your precious salt. And now, even with proof that the goddess is a lie, you would watch us dig our own graves for your comfort.
Lady Frederica, please. We shall speak of the Roselle in due time.
No, I've heard that before. Your due time is never, and I will not have you cast us aside for another 3 decades or more. All else is in disarray. If Hyzante seizes the salt crystals, we forfeit the best opportunity in decades to free my people. We know the truth. We must act upon it. We must be a light in the darkness.
We cannot afford to dilute our forces when the enemy marches on us as we speak.
So we are a distraction to you?
I am merely being rational. Liberating the Roselle would be extremely dangerous. We cannot take such a risk. Suppose we succeed. How do you propose we fend off the fury Hyzante will rain down upon us?
Esfrost would pounce on us, sensing weakness at the undue burden we've taken upon ourselves.
Precisely. We would be without allies and ripe for the taking.
There is another way.
And what, pray tell, would that be?
We set out alongside the Roselle in search of Centralia.
Centralia is a myth.
The legends of my people are true.
I care not one whit if they are. I will hear no talk of forsaking the Wolfort domain.
Silence! I have heard enough to know where each of you stand. Do you all hold the courage of your own convictions?
I do.
Nothing I've heard here has swayed me.
I feel the same.
Very well. But know that a choice must be made. There can only be one way forward. Face the scales of conviction and prepare to make peace with the outcome.
Okay, so we're going to select Frederica, and I guess Benedict will leave us. The vote we take today may well open a rift between us. Nevertheless, it must proceed, and I am prepared to accept its outcome. But not everyone, so... it's morality. Let's boost it. Returnal, I cannot help but feel that our greatest battle lies ahead, regardless of which path you choose. I know that this may not be the best time to say so, but my wife gave birth to our first child not a few days ago. Okay, morality. You're a father before a soldier. It's your duty to protect your own house before that of Wolford. Lord Sernoa, you would allow me to leave House Wolford at a time like this? But of course, before you do though, allow me to thank you for all you have done for our house. I wish you and your family every happiness. Thank you, Lord Sernoa. It is an honor to call you my lord. Okay, just have one less soldier? To think, King Roland, Lady Frederica, and Sir Benedict's conviction would diverge so greatly after all this time. Just between you and me, Lord Cerno, what do you make of their plans? Let's go for morality. Frederica's wish is a human one. She desires to liberate those who have been cruelly oppressed. But in reality, humans usually only act in their own best interest, even if it means turning a blind eye to the suffering of others. Lady Frederica is a strong woman to stand up for what is right. Couldn't agree more. Ignoring their plight now would be shameful, especially knowing that what we do of their innocence. Everyone's choices are deeply rooted in their convictions. It makes me wonder if they'll be able to abide by the Scales' decision. Lord Cerno, it will fall to you to lead everyone down the right path. Of course, I wish for all of us to walk astride the same path as we always have. No, it cannot be. So we go to the morality route. Let's go for Chila.
What do you need?
Each path before us demands a great sacrifice in exchange for a great reward. I'm sure King Roland, Benedict, and Frederica have agonized over their proposals.
Well...
So now, must we agonize over our own decisions? Okay, I wish to place my faith in Frederica's vision. Actually, Frederica's option is like, let's liberate people and run away. So they just solve the Roselles problem, but not the whole Norzelia. So they're not trying to be the heroes of the whole land, but only the heroes for the Roselles. Kinda not kind of a morality option, but more of a selfish type. Yeah. I must say I'm surprised by your support for Frederica's vision. I've been by her side for years, but even I must admit it is rather hopeful if I'm being charitable. Perhaps you see something I do not. Okay, Norzelia will be forever plagued by war. I wish to leave this place and create a new nation that knows my peace. That knows only peace. My father has defended the Roselle all these years and I intend to carry on his legacy. Truth, I agree with you. Her plan is imprudent and ill-advised. Wow, and then why do I have to select this one? Let's see this one. You mean to forsake not only your domain, but all Norzelia?
I don't know.
I concede that Hyzante will not admit defeat should we manage to free the Roselle. Do you truly believe that searching for Centralia and starting anew will prove any easier? I do, though I acknowledge that it is far easier than said than done.
Uh-huh.
I should say so. Sounds like a daydream, if I may speak so plainly.
I don't know.
Yet the world is vast and full of wonders. I cannot in good faith argue that Centralia does not exist. Perhaps forging ahead is the only answer. May it lead us to the future you dream of, if this is what you desire. If nothing else, as Frederica's attendant, I must say that it warms my heart to see you support her so diligently. You must truly love her. Chila is in deep thought. See Anna.
Lord Serenoa.
Benedict and King Roland would march us to war. Frederica would see Hyzante hunt us for all eternity. Perhaps her vision is not so different. So it's come to this. ally with one-time opponent, or flee with the Roselle.
However,
Bold proposals all, our tactics must be flawless. Wish to place my faith in Frederica's vision. So you assent to Frederica's vision for the future. War is coming, a war for all Norzelia, and you would forfeit your role in it? There's no better time to free the result than now, while Esfrost and Hyzante squabble over the salt crystals. This is how we end the war. Hyzante will crumble once we free the result. No. The Desnel and Africa are unleashed on the battlefield. The casualties will eclipse any war that's come before. See this.
even so,
They squabble over Norzelia's future. They who control the salt control the continent. Here you stand saying you'd throw away that same power just to free the Roselle? In short, yes. No matter which nation claims the salt crystals, their people have a future. But the Roselle have no future, save the one House Wolford can give them.
then,
And you assent not simply to appease Frederica. Nay, I now know the Roselle to be innocents. I shall go to their aid because it is the righteous thing to do. She and I share a common morality, one that led us to this judgment. Then I have no further questions. It remains a dangerous and ill-conceived plot in my eyes. Nevertheless, I am proud to serve a lord so sincerely devoted to his cause. Honest and deep thought. I'm not sure if they actually like my options.
However,
Here we stand after a bitter fight to reclaim the crown city, only for the king to speak of forsaking it. As his subject, it is my duty to follow his decree, and yet, my lord, the choice before us feels immense. I'm utterly adrift. Pray, tell me how you see the proposals from King Roland and the others. I need your guidance. First to place my faith in Frederica's vision. I've taken Frederica's side in all this. What fascination do the results hold for you, my lord? Frederica has shown me a future in which no one is beholden to salt, or indeed to any nation. There's no better time to free the result than now, while Esfrost and Hyzante squabble over the salt crystals. So, if the choice is to ally with the duchy, who prize might over all else, or submit to the holy state, who prey upon the weak.
but
You mean to suggest we simply do neither? Precisely. She has shown me the Rosellan legends are true. That means there is hope for all of us. I would bet my life upon. So long as we sit between two nations who have no compassion for the weak, I fear we will never know peace.
furthermore,
Take your point. War will spread and perhaps only end when the Death Knell and Elfrig are unleashed upon the continent. So you see why I would choose to flee with the weak rather than be party to the atrocities of the powerful. It will be a flight amid a hail of arrows and steel, but so righteous and noble that I would be proud to give my life for it. You've stated your case well, my lord. What is in deep thought? Okay, so she's with me.
Aye, lad.
Our sweat and bloods fed this land, built it into a proper domain. I see no reason why we should surrender it all to Hyzante. And Lady Frederica, while I sympathize, ask that we risk everything for the sake of the result.
Here's what I think.
Benedict's got the right of it, I reckon, but even that doesn't quite quiet the nagging feeling I get every time I think about our options. I wish to place my faith in Frederica's vision. How could you possibly support Lady Frederica's vision? Have you gone mad? The war will never end so long as we hold the salt crystals. We must relinquish them and break the cycle of violence. I wish to carry on. I surpass my father's legacy of protecting Roselle. I need you with me, Erodor. Salt is the source of a lot of the trouble, yes, but there's precious little we can do about it.
Consider this.
Anyone in Rosalia would tell you the same. I am well aware of our situation, Erodor, but I tire of fighting. I cannot go on like this, begging you. Join me in finding another way forward.
And further,
You've precious little idea how much I sympathize, and I want to help you. But Lady Frederica's vision is... It's fantasy, my lord, and a foolhardy one at that. You can beg till you're blue in the face, but I doubt you'll win much support. He doesn't like it. Ooh, I just hope at least 2 votes.
It is time to cast our votes. The opinions before us are many. Roland's, Frederica's, Benedict's. Which to choose? Approach the scales of conviction with your token at the ready.
Okay, so Erdor will not go with me. Shuet is with me, so I don't know the other 2.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Nice. I have made up my mind. I stand with you, Lord Cernoa.
You have my vote.
Nice. I put my faith in you, Lord Cernoa. I win.
I have faith in you.
I've decided that this is what best for both King Roland and us all.
Forgive me, lad.
I'm sorry, lad, but my gut tells me this is the right path. So he's with Benedict, I guess.
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen.
Yeah, he's with Benedict.
The way forward is decided. Frederica's dream is worth realizing. We will free the Roselle from the source.
Ooh. If grief's good passion move. Okay, let's continue till part 2. So Benedict would leave us.
A tumultuous meeting exposes a yawning chasm between Roland, Frederica, and Benedict's visions for the future. Yet only one will emerge victorious, for such is the custom of House Wolford. As ever, the scales of conviction have the final word. The time has come for judgments to be rendered and leaders to steel themselves for the outcome.
Chapter 7 and Part 2, One Last Request.
We've chosen our path. We are to free the Roselle being held in Hyzante's source.
You have chosen the one path I cannot take.
I understand your disappointment, Benedict, but the scales have spoken. And so I ask for your wisdom. Help us find a way to free the Roselle.
Hyzante will destroy everything you hold dear if you attempt to free them. That way lies ruin. Your choice is to turn your back on this house, to cast aside your land and the people who have built their lives upon it. I will not, I cannot endorse such betrayal.
I agree that we will be ill-prepared to defend the domain this way. Should that come to pass, I am prepared to flee with the Roselle and search for Centralia. They say it is home to a boundless salted sea. Surely a land where none need fight for salt is a land worth seeking. This is an opportunity, Benedict. We could find a new home instead of fighting the wars of old yet again.
Why not channel that resolve to lead the people of Norzelia as their king? You hold the power and the might. You lack only the will. With the salt crystals in hand, you shall ascend the throne. I shall see to it that you are coronated. Then we can liberate the Roselle, or whatever else your heart desires.
Liberate the Roselle, or whatever else. I never dreamed I would hear such callous words fall from your lips.
I stand by them. I care only that you and the legacy of House Wolford are safe and secure. I shall offer my counsel by force, if needed.
You don't mean to fight the lad.
Stand down, Benedict.
No, Anna.
Ooh.
This is a challenge that I must accept.
I beg you to reconsider. If you mean to proceed with this folly, then you will do so over my dead body. You can do so much more, Lord Serenoa. The salt crystals give you the upper hand. Esfrost and Hyzante would bend the knee to you. You could unite all Norzelia under your rule.
You were right about me, Benedict. I lack the will. I have no desire to rule Norzelia. I wish to see an oppressed people set free and nothing more.
At what cost? Would you see your loyal subjects conquered by another nation?
I would forfeit my lordship. The people of Wolfort will endure without me. The Roselle have no such champion for their cause. We are the only ones who can set them free.
Give me the order, and I shall reduce Hyzante to rubble. Then they shall be free.
The ensuing battle will only breed further resentment, or worse, displace others who will be treated like the Roselle. War cannot solve every problem, and our liberation of the Roselle shall prove as much.
So, you now take blind counsel from your betrothed. To think that an arranged marriage will lead to this folly.
Oh.
Enough! I came to this conclusion of my own free will. I have seen the challenges that face Norzelia, and this is how I choose to respond.
You are every inch Lady Destra's child. Your compassion steers you headlong into every conflict. Alas, compassion is easily trampled. It can only exist so long as it has an army at its back. My patience grows thin, Lord Serenoa. The salt crystals give you the power to bring peace to Norzelia.
You're wrong. It is little more than the catalyst for another protracted war.
A war we can win. Let me lead you to victory.
There is always a war to be won. Do you not see the cycle at work? I will break that cycle and use my power to liberate the oppressed.
You talk of fleeing from your duty, of pure fantasy.
We need you, Benedict. Why can you not put our differences aside?
This is absurd. You race toward your own destruction, and I will not be party to it. Lord Simon entrusted me with the future of this house. And I swore an oath to Lady Destra that I would protect you no matter what the cost.
are shackled to the past, Benedict.
I would call it loyalty.
And it has come to this. For the sake of our future, I must strike you down.
Prepare yourself. You came, you missed.
Here!
You came, you missed. I yield. Grant me the mercy of a swift death.
No. Neither father nor mother would stand for the killing of a loyal retainer. The rest of us shall make our way to Hyzante in secret. You will remain here. Lead the people out of the Wolffort domain before the Hyzantean army assaults this castle, and keep them safe.
These are your orders, in exchange for sparing my life?
These are not orders, and there is no exchange to be made. This is the last thing I will ever ask of you as my steward and loyal friend of House Wolffort.
And so, you follow in the footsteps of Lord Simone and Lady Destra, leaving me behind with the most arduous tasks. I shall rise to the occasion, my lord. I shall do whatever is required to see that the Wolffort name and its people survive. Should House Wolffort lose its lord, I shall lead the house forward in your stead.
I have no doubt you will.
Ooh, so Benedict is still loyal to the house.
Benedict.
Mule-headed fool.
We've each made our choices. Now we must walk the path we believe is right.
Yes.
King Roland, this decision means casting Glenbrook aside. I know I cannot ask you to come with me, but will you agree to see to the salt crystals?
No. I am sorry, my friend. But I am not worthy to oversee such an important task.
Of course you are. You have always striven to be fair and just.
You hold me much too high in regard. Our conversation earlier made me realize the truth. My faith was misguided, as were my actions. I believed exacting vengeance upon Esfrost would be proof enough I was Glenbrook's rightful king. But I gave no thought to the bloody cost of revenge. This kingdom and its subjects should not have to suffer such a selfish fool upon the throne.
Then, you will come with me?
I shall. Not as your king, but as your friend. If I can help those in need, that is enough. Glenbrook has the geographical advantage, and the salt crystals. And there are a small handful of trustworthy nobles remaining. I'm certain they will ensure the people thrive, even without a king. Glenbrook is in too powerful a position for foreign powers to interfere.
Roland.
You know you aren't leaving me behind. I've come this far by your side. I'm not abandoning you now. You have my thanks, Huette.
Frederica, don't you think you ought to make your convictions clear to your companions?
Well, it's common knowledge by now that I'm an Frosty of Rosellan descent. I was a lonely child who hated that her hair was a different color from everyone else. But then I joined House Wolford. I met Jerome and witnessed the cruelty that my fellow Roselles suffered at the source. And I learned how brave my mother was, how long and hard she fought for her people's freedom. Compared to the horrors they went through, I have lived a life of privilege and comfort. I am proud to be a Rosellan, and proud to be a Wolford. I wish to be strong, strong like my lady mother before me. And I wish to see her dream of freeing our people fulfilled. I understand the difficulties that lie ahead, but hope that I might have you all with me.
We will always be there beside you, Frederica.
My lord, Hyzante's army has sent a message ahead of their forces. It says, the Grand Norzalian mines must be conferred to the goddess as a divine offering.
An offering? Sounds more like an ultimatum.
Precisely. If we refuse to relinquish the mines, they'll put the Wolford domain to the sword.
Then we've no time to waste. We must make ready to leave at once.
So what happened with Benedict? Oh.
Benedict.
I leave the rest in your hands, Anna.
All these years I have watched you. I may not be able to replace you, but I will do my best.
Loath as I am to burden you with such responsibility, that is heartening.
This ain't the Benedict I know. Come on, where's your usual glower?
You never change.
Huh, I should hope not. Defending House Wolford calls for consistency. And defend Wolford I shall, even in your absence.
I shall hold you to it, both of you.
I'm telling you, we've got it under control.
Your voice hasn't gotten any quieter.
Sorry. Parting ways with a friend always gets me worked up.
Thank you for seeing me off, you two. Farewell.
Okay.
What of the Hyzantean forces?
They haven't entered the domain yet. If we act now, we could sneak around them and reach the capital.
Focused as they are on seizing the salt crystal deposits, I'd wager their domestic defenses are at a minimum.
If we can get into the capital and have the Roselle and the Source take up arms, we should stand a fair chance of helping them escape.
But Hyzante is wary of Serenoa for keeping the salt crystals from them, despite his position as one of the Saintly Seven. They may be short-handed, but if they spot him, we'll never make it inside.
We can use the consortium cart to slip unnoticed into the capital.
The wagon from Claris? You sure we can trust the consortium?
Yes. If only because this benefits both us and him. In exchange, I told him what secrets we learned of Esfrost and Hyzante.
You mean you told him of Dragan's murder and the illicit salt trade? I hope he understands those secrets must never leave his lips.
He understands. Once people learn of the salt crystals, Norzelia will change. And the consortium will have a new role to serve.
Oh.
Now that they know, they will be better prepared to negotiate their position. They agreed to help us as a show of gratitude.
You've thought this through. Well done, Anna.
What of our things, Gila?
Stored safely within the cart, of course.
Things? What things?
The explosives we found in the tunnel.
After we've gotten the Roselle to rise up, we'll set sail from the harbor and make for the Folk's domain, to the Great Falls. To To make sure no one follows us, we'll blow up all the other ships in the harbor as we leave.
Frederica and I devised the plan ourselves.
A perfect way to make an escape with so many people.
Wise of you to make for the Falk's domain. It's distant enough. You'll have plenty of time to hide.
Aye, about as far south as you can get. No better place, if your end goal is Centralia, too.
It's a good plan. We shall do what we can to make sure it succeeds.
Crafty as ever, you Wolforts. I am glad to be on your side.
But one problem remains. How do we get the Roselle and the Source to turn against their captors? If we can't win their trust, all this is for naught.
We need some way of persuading them. And quickly, too.
Let me worry about that. I can find the words to convince them. I am my mother's daughter, after all.
All right. I know you'll figure something out, Frederica.
There is one more thing. Huette, I'll need to send a bird.
Of course, my lady. Where to?
The Rosellen village. I'd like to tell Jerome and the others of our plan. I would have them meet us at the Great Falls.
Agreeing to such a thing means they will have to give up the lives they enjoy now. Do you think they will come?
I cannot say. Regardless, I owe it to them to let them know Hyzante is invading.
Indeed. Let us send word and see what they have to say.
Oh, so there will be a different version of this one if we are to surrender the Roselles.
Upon learning of the salt crystal deposits, Hyzante quickly musters her forces. They march upon the Wolfort domain, intent on seizing control of the mine. Serenoa decides to take this as an opportunity to free the Roselle enslaved at the source. But that decision leads to Benedict's departure from House Wolfort. Still grappling with grief over parting ways with their friend, Serenoa and the others make for the Hyzantean capital. There, amidst a land in turmoil, they hope to help the Roselle rise up against their oppressors.
Okay. Let's see. Hyzante makes for the mines as Wolfort heads to the source, but how will the Duchy respond?
Archduke Gustadov, we received word from Wolfort. XM's forces have crossed into their domain.
So they know of the salt crystals. Then battle is inevitable. But how will House Wolfort respond?
I should think it obvious they will attack us. Their lord is one of the Saintly Seven, after all.
I am unconvinced of that. Perhaps they will offer us salt crystals to secure our alliance.
To what end?
History is changing around us as we speak. If Wolfort wishes to guide the shape our future takes, he will need all the help he can get. He can choose to submit to Hyzante's tyranny, or work with us to bring freedom to our land. Or he might choose to take advantage of the chaos. Will you follow in Lady Orlea's footsteps, Frederica? Somehow I doubt it.
Your pardon, Archduke.
It's nothing. I let my thoughts wander too far. Whatever path Wolfort chooses, they all lead to war. Ready our forces.
Okay, so Gustadov knows how to play war. Okay, the people of Wolfort, anxious at the sudden turn of events, are relieved when a familiar face appears before them. So it's Benedict. Yeah, it's Benedict.
What? You want us to leave the city?
You couldn't have told us this sooner? I've got a family to worry about.
I understand I ask much of you, but a bloody battle is nigh. You must be ready to evacuate if it comes to it.
But where is our lord? Won't he protect us?
Lord Serenoa marches toward an even fiercer conflict than what we face here. He left me to protect the people of Wolford in his stead. I ask that you trust in our house and do as I bid.
All right then. Well, I suppose we'll start packing.
Your mastery at matters of war has kept us safe this long. If you say we need to leave, that's what we'll do.
You have my thanks. I've one more thing to ask of you. Something I'd like each of you to make.
Ah, what's that? We're still helping Serenoa. That's fine, that's good. Either regard the Saints to discuss how Hyzante will deal with both the mines and House Wolfort.
Minister Exham's forces ought to be crossing into Wolfort's domain any moment now.
Will it be war, or will they relinquish the salt crystal deposits without resistance?
I think we have no cause for worry. Minister Serenoa is one of our saintly seven, after all.
Nevertheless, we cannot be certain what he will choose. Whoever controls those salt crystals controls the future of all Norzelia. Knowing that, you truly think he would give them up without a fight?
Minister Lila is right. He may very well decide to ally with Asfrost and rise up against us. I made sure Minister Exham understood he may very well be marching to war.
Wolfort is a prideful house. If we apply too much pressure on them, they may hold out simply out of principle.
Honestly, they are more trouble than they are worth. It almost makes me wish we could turn them and Asfrost against each other.
That is something else to consider. We could even promise them the Roselles' freedom, should they triumph over the duchy.
A fine proposition. The best outcome would be to have them destroy Asfrost for good.
And in doing so, they'd be destroyed themselves. Surely you would not wish for such slaughter.
Soft hearts have no place here, Minister Camsell. We fight for control of all Norzelia.
And we must fight to win. Our troops will need Elfric, Minister Lila. See that they have it.
Of course. I'll see to any final adjustments at the Ministry of Medicine.
There's so many things that happen in this route. One last card quest. So this is it. So I'll end my stream here and continue next time. So see you. Thank you and goodbye.